Welcome to week 3 of the PRISM program. Did you know that most weight loss efforts don't last beyond 2 days? And you've made it 2 weeks? Congratulations! You have a reason to feel excited and proud. You've held firm to your agreement of resolution, and as a result, your clothes are beginning to feel loose. This week, we'll examine why we get hungry, and we'll hear from an expert on enzymes. By the end of this meeting, you will begin to understand the role of hunger and the importance of proper digestion. You've heard it said you are what you eat. I'm sure we all agree on that. But how about this one? You are what you digest. You can eat healthy food, but if your body doesn't properly digest and utilize it, what good does it do? By slowing down and listening to your body, you'll learn to recognize the level of your hunger before eating. By slowing down and observing all your senses while eating, you'll discover that even a small snack can be completely satisfying. Slowing down before, during, and after your meal times leads to better digestion, a critical component of weight management and good health. Do you get the picture? We want you to slow down. Take a moment several times each day to ask yourself a few questions. The first may seem obvious, but when you ask yourself if you're hungry, remember that hunger was given by God as a reminder to refuel our physical bodies. When you're hungry, it simply means your body is prepared to receive and digest food. The food we eat provides us with the energy we need to do the work God has prepared for us to do. So, to maintain a healthy, energetic body, we must begin to recognize how much energy, that is food, we need to eat at any given time. When you feel hungry, determine whether the hunger is mild, moderate, or severe. If mildly hungry, a small snack will suffice until the next meal. If truly hungry, and it's mealtime, go ahead and eat your meal. But no matter how hungry you were when you started eating, please stop when you feel satisfied. Don't wait until you feel completely full, and don't stuff yourself just because the food is there and you have remaining available calories for the day. Listen to the signals your body sends. Thirsty bodies cry out, and we may interpret that message as hunger. Rather than having a true physical hunger, we may actually only need a tall glass of cool water to be satisfied. If you're not hungry, don't eat. Don't try to satisfy emotional hunger with food. Listen to your body, your mind, and your spirit. What will truly satisfy you? Perhaps you could go outside and do some stretching, deep breathing, or take a walk. Maybe listening to soothing music or lifting your spirits with upbeat praise or rock music would do the trick. Don't hesitate to call a friend. A visit with someone who makes you laugh or gives encouragement may be just what you need. Take the opportunity to pray. Meditate for a few minutes on what could really be eating you. Then let it go. Practice makes perfect, and as you practice the principle of asking yourself these important questions on a regular basis, you'll discover the answers become easier with time. With all that being said, some of you who are not eating enough each day may lose the sensation of hunger and find you have a difficult time eating over 1,000 calories. If this is happening to you, I urge you to remember your guidelines and the agreement of resolution you signed. You must eat at least 1,000 calories each day to avoid catabolism, which, as discussed earlier, is the process of the body literally eating itself to get the protein and nutrients it needs to survive. If you find that you have calories left in the evening, enjoy a glass of fruit juice or some fresh fruit mixed with creamy yogurt. These are but 2 light, healthy choices you could make to bring you closer to your daily calorie maximum and certainly take you over the daily minimum. Hunger is to be honored, not feared, because of its role in maintaining optimum health. Proper digestion of meals and snacks also plays an important part. To ensure healthy digestion, we suggest adhering to the following principles. Eat your main meal in the middle of the day, when your digestive system is most active. Work, school, and conflicting schedules may make this difficult, but try to follow this principle whenever and wherever possible. Eat only with a calm state of mind in a relaxed environment. If you feel upset, angry, fearful, or anxious, please wait a few minutes. Allow time to compose yourself. We cannot overstate the importance of calming down before you eat. Eating with any negative emotion, even feeling rushed, is extremely dangerous. You may use these emotions to justify overeating, and you run the risk of breaking your commitment to the program guidelines. You must sit down at a table every single time you eat, even when snacking on one little piece of fruit. Wash it, peel it, cut it, and put it on a plate. Then turn on some soothing music and sit down. You should never eat sitting in a car, standing over the sink, or running to and fro. Before eating, pause for a moment with an attitude of thanksgiving. You may want to pray, thanking God for the healthy food He has provided to strengthen, build, bless, and energize your physical body. Let your plate's appearance alone begin to satisfy you, even before you start eating. Take in the wonderful aroma of your food. Make yourself completely aware of the food's taste and texture. Concentrate on chewing. Enjoy the experience of having food in your mouth. Eat at a moderate to slow pace, and put your fork down between bites. Relish in this peaceful moment. You're worth it. Be sure not to talk while chewing, as this habit can disrupt the digestive process. Using all of your senses, sight, smell, taste, touch, and the soothing sounds of a relaxed atmosphere, can transform your meal or snack time into a completely satisfying experience. When you have finished eating, sit back and relax for at least 5 minutes. Enjoy the quiet, the music, or the conversation with friends and family. If you've just experienced your main meal, be sure to take your vitamin supplements and enzymes right away. But please don't jump up to quickly clear the dishes, run to that meeting, or go on to the next item on your agenda. Taking time after your meal will greatly enhance your digestion and will provide the perfect ending to your wonderful dining experience.
Did you learn something new about how to eat? Listening to the messages your body sends and creating an environment that leads to proper digestion is all part of the transformation process. Now it's time for me to introduce you to my special guest, Dr. Tim O'Shea. Dr. O'Shea is internationally recognized in the realm of holistic nutrition. As he shares with you his knowledge and experience with enzymes, you will begin to understand the role enzymes play in achieving and maintaining optimum health. Please welcome Dr. Tim O'Shea.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Tim O'Shea. Our topic for today is going to be enzymes, the key to longevity. Now, many of us in America today are asking ourselves the question, we're a little dissatisfied with the fact that we watch our parents die from the exact same diseases that our grandparents died from. And we're beginning to wonder, well, what's really going on here? And so many of us in the field of holistic nutrition today have come to realize that many of our dietary choices actually have a direct bearing on the quality of our lifestyle and actually the length of our life. George Bernard Shaw has told us the sincerest love of all is the love of food. And so as our dietary choices become programmed more by advertising than our actual knowledge of what is nutritious for us, what has any food value, we find that degenerative diseases are very, very much on the rise in this country today. And it's really true what Samuel Smiles said in 1880, that we each day dig our graves with our teeth. So my opinion is that one of the primary obstacles to longevity is death. So I asked myself, well, why are we dying? Why are Americans dying? Well, 2.3 million Americans die every year. And I was wondering, well, what are the primary things that we die from? So I did my research and I found out what I'm just about to show you. But as we go through these, I want you to please ask yourself one question about each one. Does dietary choice have anything to do with each of these 10 main causes of death? So first of all, heart disease. Well, we know that. 1 in 3 deaths are due to heart disease. Cancer, 1 in 4 deaths are from cancer. Stroke, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, heart and lung. Accidents, pneumonia and flu, diabetes, suicide, kidney disease, and liver disease. Now, if you think about it, only 2 of these 10 leading causes have nothing to do with diet: suicide and accidents. All the rest of them are directly influenced by the food choices that we make. Now, many holistic nutritionists, starting with some doctors in the early 1900s, felt that there is really only one disease, and they call this disease toxemia. And that's just a big word that means blood poisoning. And one of the first proponents of this idea was J.H. Tilden, MD, from Colorado. And he wrote this excellent book in the 1920s called Toxemia Explained, still available today on Amazon. You can still get it. I recommend that everyone get this book because it really has a lot to do with nutrition and the digestion of food and the progression of degenerative diseases and a rationale for that. And what Dr. Tilden explained to us was that our blood is the internal milieu in which each one of the cells of our body is bathed every second from our birth to our death. So the condition of that milieu determines the viability of those cells, which in turn determines our longevity and our health during our lifespan. So that's the basic idea. So you start out with this premise and develop it from there. There was another famous medical doctor in the early part of the century, one of the most famous surgeons who ever lived, a French doctor named Alexis Karol. And every medical student since that time has memorized the famous experiment that Dr. Karol performed with chicken cells. And you may remember, you may have heard this. He took a petri dish, a glass laboratory dish, and put chicken cells in the dish, right? And he kept these cells alive for 28 years. Now, this is quite a feat when you consider that chickens only live about 4 or 5 years. But he and his students kept those cells alive for 28 years. How? By 2 things. They did 2 things every day. They added nutrients to the solution, and they removed the waste. That's it. They added the nutrients, they removed the waste. So these are the key concepts that we have to keep in mind when we're talking about holistic nutrition. Holistic nutrition is a real jungle these days. There are so many experts saying so many contradictory and different things, and we're all on the right track. We all have the idea that, yeah, the health in the United States is not quite headed in the direction that we all want it to head, but there's a lot of conflict. And so if you start from a basic premise, then you'll be a lot better off. And so I kind of am in line with the idea of toxemia, blood poisoning. The first thing I want to talk about with respect to enzymes is, what do we really know about enzymes just from general layman's knowledge? What do we know? Well, we hear about laundry detergent has enzymes in it, and we see a lot of examples of enzymes in our daily life, in our everyday life. So I'll give you an example. You have a dog. You give your dog a bone. The dog buries the bone in the ground, right? And then after a couple weeks, he digs it up, and now he can eat it. That's enzyme activity breaking down the bone, making it softer and more yummy for the dog. A banana. You take a green banana, you put it on the windowsill, and let it stay there for a few days. And after a while, it ripens. It turns yellow, right? Now it's ripe. That is enzyme activity working in the banana. An alligator kills you in a swamp. And he doesn't eat you now, but he drags you over to his alligator condo and lets you rot for a while until you're seasoned well enough to become his entree. Enzyme activity. Seeds ripen. Seeds ripen during certain conditions, when soil conditions and temperature conditions and there's enough water. All this is a triggering of the enzyme activity in order to push the shoot upward. So all these are examples of enzymes that we know about in our daily lives. So with respect to living things, we should remember that enzymes are properties of all cells. They're protein molecules that are worker molecules that cause things to happen on a cellular level. They change things into usable forms. Now, the foremost researcher in the field of enzymes, probably who ever lived, was Dr. Edward Howell. And he conducted massive amounts of research in between the 30s and the 1980s. And Dr. Howell wrote a great book, which is also still available on Amazon, and you can still get this book, and it's called Enzyme Nutrition. And one of the principles that he explains in this book is he kind of divided enzymes into two categories: the enzymes in the body and food enzymes. Let's talk for a second about the enzymes in the human body. Dr. Howell divided those into two primary categories: the metabolic enzymes and the digestive enzymes. Now, just in a nutshell, the metabolic enzymes are those enzymes which are involved in the life processes of the systems of the body. So what that means is, like, the brain has like 1,300 separate enzymes for thinking, neurological function. The liver has hundreds of separate enzymes that only do liver functions. The kidney, the circulatory system, respiration, any system of the body has dozens of enzymes that are specific for that system to function in a normal way. About 5,000 metabolic enzymes have been digested by this time. Okay, the other type of enzymes that's within the human body is a class that we're probably more familiar with, the digestive enzymes. And about 20 of these have been identified. Now, digestive enzymes are things like amylase in the saliva, or the pancreatic enzymes, or the stomach-producing enzymes, or enzymes produced in the liver and small intestine. And as we know, the purpose of these type of enzymes, the digestive enzymes, is to break down food into usable forms. So one of the key discoveries that Edward Howell made was he came to the realization that there was a biological interrelationship between these two types of enzymes. And he made an analogy like this. When we're born, we are given a savings account, like a bank account, like an enzyme potential bank account. And what he said was, the more of this enzyme potential, the more of this enzyme energy we must expend on digesting food, the less is left over for our life functions, for the metabolic side of it.